Well, welcome back, everyone, to the Big Dreams Travel Podcast. I'm your host, John Arthur, and this is episode number 9 of the podcast. We are here live at the Disneyland Resort for today's live updates. A little different type of podcast episode here over the last couple, and we'll have one more for tomorrow, but giving you some live updates of our time here at the Disneyland Resort. And so we do apologize if you're watching on YouTube. This will not be a video episode like our other podcasts, but we are here to give you some insight into a Disneyland vacation. As always, thanks for listening to the podcast. We would love it if you would subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you can be notified when we post other content here on YouTube. Or if you're listening on a podcast app, just make sure you subscribe to our channel there on wherever you listen to podcasts. And we thank you so much for joining us here on this episode. Now for some live updates from here at Disneyland. All right, well, welcome back. Day number 3 of our live updates here from the Disneyland Resort. Just a little different variation of the podcast here this week, and we're bringing you these daily updates. Well, today was a little more of a relaxed day than we had our first 2 days. We kind of took those first 2 days and tried to do a lot of things, and we did about everything we wanted to across the 2 parks. And so now today and tomorrow are going to be much more relaxed, just kind of rewriting the things we want to ride again, mixing in some other activities, and just really slowing down and enjoying. That's kind of how we like to do Disney, is get the stuff in that we know we want to do, and then spend some time really slow at the end of a trip. And so today we slept in a little bit. Now, one thing that is different at Disneyland, if you're a Disney World person, is at Disneyland you're not able to make Genie Plus reservations until you've entered a theme park. And so at Disney World, one of the things we love to do is sleep in, hang out at the pool in the morning, relax at the resort throughout the day, and stack lightning lanes throughout the day for the late afternoon and evening hours. You can't do that at Disneyland because you can't book those Genie Pluses until you enter the theme park. And so this morning, once everybody got up and around, it happened at about 8:30, we put on our swimsuits and walked over to DCA. Now, we are a guest of the Disneyland Hotel, and if you're a guest of the 3 Disneyland-owned properties, that's the Disneyland Hotel, Paradise Pier, or the Grand Californian, you actually can enter DCA through a kind of a backdoor entrance that's in the Grand Californian. And so we did that because it actually cuts some steps off from here at the Disneyland Hotel. We didn't have to go all the way to the front gates of DCA. There is an entrance exit into the Grand Californian in downtown Disney. It's about halfway through downtown Disney by the dress shop. And you come out, and if you walk through the hotel a little bit, you come to the California Adventure entrance, and you enter California Adventure there in the Grizzly Peak area, which is right next to Grizzly River Run. And that's why we put our swimsuits on, is we wanted to do the River Rapids ride and not have to worry about getting all of our stuff wet. So we did that, had a great time. We all went. Me and the boys went a second time just because we were there and there was no line, and had a great time. And so we finished that up and reversed our course through the Grand Californian Hotel, back here to the Disneyland Hotel, and we're back by about 9:45, and we grabbed a couple pool chairs, and we've spent the better part of the day, about 3 hours or so, at the pool. A great pool area here at Disneyland Hotel. They've got the monorail pool slides back in the back. A couple of those are really great, and then 2 pools up at the front, a couple of big hot tubs. And I will say right now the pool's a little more crowded than normal because Paradise Pier guests are using it since their pool is still under renovation. But that's not normally the case, although it remains to be seen what's going to happen when the DVC tower is done here at the Disneyland Hotel. You may can hear the construction behind me. They are doing construction on that DVC tower, and so that is causing a little bit of that may cause the pool situation to change a little bit. But we were able at about 10 o'clock to get a pool chair very easily on the front row with an umbrella and some shade, and spent some time out there. Had a great time by the pool. We had breakfast at Tangaroa Terrace, which is a nice little quick service restaurant here, right next to Trader Sam's off the pool area. So we enjoyed that. They've got some really unique and interesting options. So we had a great breakfast there, and we've just been relaxing. We just came to the room to relax a little bit, and we are headed back over to Disneyland Park. So we'll check in with you in just a little bit. We're going to leave here about 2 o'clock and head over to Disneyland, and then on to DCA tonight for World of Color. All right, so bringing you update here while we are in line for a ride. We've had a busy afternoon and evening. We started over at Disneyland and did great moments with Mr. Lincoln. We did Big Thunder with a lightning lane, but our main thing was we wanted to try the new Skyview Terrace DVC Lounge. And it was a lot of fun up there. You can probably tell I'm in line for Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters with the music behind me. I was right by a speaker there. But we are, after we finished on the DVC Lounge, which was really awesome, good drinks, and those kind of things, got refreshed. We came over to California Adventure. We did Soarin' with a lightning lane. We did Mickey's PhilharMagic, which is always a family favorite for us. Such a fun show. Guardians of the Galaxy with a lightning lane. And then we came over to Cars Land and had a great dinner at Flo's V8 Cafe. Most of us really enjoyed our food. Probably the most consistent meal we've had. I don't think anything was just spectacular, but everybody enjoyed what they got. Then we kind of went around Paradise Gardens. We did Goofy's Sky School, which the boys love. And headed on around, we had a Num Num cookie, which is delicious. We did Incredicoaster. And now we just came over and did Radiator Springs Racers with a individual lightning lane that we purchased. It was an awesome ride after dark. Really recommend experiencing it both during the day and after dark if you can. And then now we're in line here for Luigi's as the first World of Color show is going off. So we have a virtual queue. You can always get a virtual queue for World of Color right now. I think it starts at noon each day. But we went ahead and got one for the second showing of World of Color, which is at 10:15. So we're going to go to the viewing area here after this and get kind of set up. We'll make it a little snack on the way. But really looking forward to seeing World of Color. Such a great show. And so I'll try to check in after that. All right, going to have the final update for tonight here on our evening at Disney's California Adventure, where I last left off. We were in line for Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters, and we did have a good ride. I will say the highlight of Luigi's is the queue line, walking out onto the courtyard with the lights above, and it's just a beautiful setting there. The ride itself is not something I would really get all that excited about, but the setting is really, really cool. Really cool. After that, we were, the park was about 15 minutes from closing, or probably about 25 minutes from closing. And we headed over to the World of Color viewing area. We had gotten a virtual queue earlier in the day, which you can do most days, and it will assign you either the first show or the second show, and then it will tell you a viewing area. I talked to a couple of cast members, and they said most of the time when you get a virtual queue, it says you can go to the yellow area or the blue area. And the cast members I talked to said go to the yellow one. It is almost always less crowded. It's down almost to the Golden Zephyr in the Paradise Gardens area, whereas the blue is closer to kind of that walkway to Pixar Pier, the bridge, and that area. So the yellow, they said, is almost always less crowded. And now I will say, when they were checking our codes that we had a virtual queue, there was no organization, there were no lines. It was just they put the yellow sign out. You got a push notification on your phone that it was ready, and everybody just stormed the couple of people that were scanning codes. and it was just every person for themselves. And so we did get our code scanned, and so we did get a place right on the rail. It's not the very lowest section, but it's the next section up. We did get wet. You will get wet if you're out on the edge of that rail. It's just the nature of the show. But it was an awesome show. If you're going to DCA, highly recommend seeing it. Highly recommend getting the virtual queue. Of course, you can also do a dinner package or a dessert party, which of course costs money. The virtual queue does not cost. But it was a great show. And we walked back here to the Disneyland Hotel, and we're turning in for the night. So that'll do it for our third day in the parks. Tomorrow, our fourth and final park day here at Disneyland in California. Thanks for listening. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the Travel Buzz Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you check out all of our shows each week, either on YouTube at Big Dreams Travel or wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, we would love it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you click the notification bell so that you know when we post new episodes or videos. I'm John Arthur. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you have a wonderful week and have fun planning those future dream vacations.
Thank you.